afternoon, I'm Long Johnson with the news. The Swedish multinational clothing retail company H&M have come under heavy fire.
A huge internet backlash has taken place aimed at H&M's decision to feature a black child wearing a hoodie which reads "The coolest monkey in the jungle" as part of a marketing campaign for their new jungle-themed children's range.
However, critics of H&M's campaign are not happy and have decided that the best way to stamp out racism is to keep on bringing it up, regardless of context or intent.
An angry Facebook user wrote, "Aside from any references to monkeys, the jungle itself can also be used as a derogatory word thrown around at black people. I hereby demand that all black children be segregated from the campaign entirely for the sake of diversity and racial cohesion. Those who disagree are part of the problem."
Screeching white middle-class race activists were also quick to point out that, as well as the phrase "get back to the jungle," "get back to Africa" also has racial connotations that have undoubtedly caused great distress to ethnic communities across parts of the world, now resulting in many outraged liberals calling for a boycott of the entire continent.
Artists and musicians around the world have joined together in support of yet another virtuous, albeit rather vacuous, hashtag. Stop Racism, Stop Africa is currently trending. "I think it's fantastic," said Scott Hollingdon, a 22-year-old vegan creative, philanthropic yoga instructor and Labour member. "What better way for Western liberals to stand up for Western minorities by calling for the economic stagnation of developing countries? We need to show the world that we're in this together." Canadian singer The Weeknd has since decided to break off any commercial ties he has with H&M due to their use of racist and embarrassing images.
A spokesperson for H&M responded in a press release which stated,
"It is with our greatest regret that we have to part ways with The Weeknd, someone who is evidently an incredibly deep and prolific thinker."
expressions of discontent have continued to mount as the day has progressed.
One Twitter user with the online handle Victim with an AK wrote, "This is sick. You fucked up big time, H&M. People making monkey noises at black people, throwing banana peels and watermelon onto the floor. Such apparent racial abuse must not go unpunished." "But this isn't what's happening here," another user tweeted in response. However, this was met with outright derision from a purple-haired member of the trans community who felt compelled to align not himself, not herself, but themself against what not he, not she, but they saw as yet another example of corporate and social injustice. "How on earth can we move forward and progress with matters of race and diversity when this sort of insensitive thing keeps on happening?" tweeted June Whitfield from a pretentiously overpriced coffee shop in Dulwich Village. "How about we stop mentioning it and stop looking for racism where it doesn't actually exist?" suggested another user, Philip Russler, in response.
Philip Russler has since been fired from his job position at Mechanical Meats. When approached for comment, his former employer stated,
"Due to damaging tweets made by one of our employees, we gathered for a board meeting literally about 20 minutes ago and came to the decision that it would be best for Mr. Russler to find a new job somewhere else. Mr. Russler's totally reasonable and common sense remarks in absolutely no way reflect the core values we all stand for here at Mechanical Meats, although we do wish him all the very best for the future."
The incident has captured the attention of celebrities and trolls alike.
Gina, mother of 4 from Enfield, told reporters, "When my son was about 4 or 5 years old, he was obsessed with monkeys. He always wanted to see them, play with them. He wanted to have one as a pet and always dressed up and climbed about saying, 'I'm a monkey, I'm a monkey. Mum, why won't you ever just let me be a monkey? All the other boys and girls at schools are able to be monkeys. I feel so left out. All the other kids at school act funny around me now because they know I can't be called a monkey. I just want to fit in and play with my friends.'" So, one night, I thought it was about time to needlessly sit him down and tell him all about white supremacy, lynching, and the reason why he's not allowed to dress up as a monkey. It's been really positive. We've come a long way since then. He doesn't really care for monkeys anymore. Now he just holds a great level of suspicion for the man and is awake to the fact that he's part of a system that's always working against him, just like the rest of his siblings. I want my children to really make something of themselves, so I feel it's best that they get a really negative and defeatist view of the world from as early as possible." Gina added, "I nearly broke at one point and almost took him to see the monkeys at London Zoo. But, in the end, I thought it was much more important that he be aware of London Zoo's thinly veiled yet sinister attempt to promote the idea that black people should be confined to outdoor enclosures." 44-year-old Doronte Hill from Wisconsin also joined into the fray. I would have thought that it would have been better to allow the word monkey as a racial slur to become such a dead idea that people living hundreds of years into the future would find it hard to believe that it was ever an insult. Sadly, though, I'm positive that if in the year 3000 there are still people yelling, "You can't say monkey," then all it means is that even after the passing of another 1000 years, no meaningful progress ever took place. How can we ever hope to build anything new for the future if people insist on destroying any of those attempts by always loading them with negative aspects of our past? Durante's comments have unsurprisingly sparked outrage, and after being severely assaulted outside his home by angry Black Democrat voters, is now currently recovering in Aurora Lakeland Medical Center. We attempted to contact Black Lives Matter to see if any of their representatives were available for comment. However, no fucks were given.
Speaking with somewhat of a contrary view, Mumina tweeted,
"This isn't even racist. If you see this as racist, then your way of thinking is the problem. Kids are classed as cheeky monkeys, and this doesn't say made for black kids only. The fact that people are even linking the word monkey to him because he's black is a joke. Stop forcing it." As punishment for inciting racial hatred, Twitter have since suspended Mumina's account.
Biscuit brand Jacobs were also contacted after reports emerged that they were planning a similar campaign featuring young Caucasian children dressed as US law enforcement agents, accompanied with the slogan, "Eat a cracker, don't be one." However, when asked why they had chosen not to go ahead with the campaign, a senior marketing executive responded,
"We were really excited about the idea, but after we realised that probably not that many people were going to bother complaining about it, we really didn't see the point."
In other news, earlier on today, conflict erupted at a fancy dress shop in Surbiton, with reports of a dispute between a customer and the store's manager about the sale of one of their costumes.
A statement from the customer, Abimbola Okoye, read, "I couldn't believe it. I've never been confronted with such blatant racial discrimination in all my life. I'm still trying to get my head around it, to be honest. I picked up a gorilla costume from off the shelf, walked towards the counter, and before I could even say anything, the shop clerk looked at me and said, 'I can't sell you that gorilla costume.' And when I asked him why not, he looked me straight in the face and said, 'Because you're a black man.'" When the manager of the store was asked for an explanation as to why they wouldn't sell the gorilla costume to Mr. Okoye, his response was as follows. "All of us here at this fine establishment are driven to achieving a future full of promise and opportunity for all. We're confident in stating that we think we are without doubt the most progressive fancy dress shop in London, and due to the high number of drama students we have on staff, we are very aware of people's emotional sensibilities and the way in which they benevolently cripple greater society. I can proudly say that all of us in this store firmly believe in standing up against racism. Therefore, to avoid offending ethnic communities or anybody who wishes to be offended on their behalf, it is now one of our store's most prized policies to prohibit the sale of our gorilla costumes to anybody with skin pigmentation darker than that of antiques expert and TV personality David Dickinson. We're prepared to show that we're really here to make a difference." Upon news of the store manager's response, Mr. Okoye still appeared to be quite perplexed by the ordeal. "I said to the store clerk, 'So let me get this straight. You won't allow me to buy this gorilla costume because when you look at me, all you can see is a gorilla.' And he looked at me and said, 'No, I'm worried that when you look at you, all you'll see is a gorilla.' I'm stunned."
Oh yeah, no, that fits really well actually. No. Do you think I could get one in blue? Just to go with the new Brexit passport. Yeah. Moving on to a more uplifting story now. The Lion King musical have just announced the new dates for their first ever performance featuring an all-white cast.
When asked about the move to no longer include any actors of non-Western origin in the highly popular stage show, the new director had this to say. "Nothing says progressive like a musical. We currently live in an era where people's hurt and anger really trumps anything else. Minorities aren't happy, so we definitely want to put ourselves out there and demonstrate that we're listening to what they have to say. That's why this year we thought it would be absolutely brilliant to avoid all potential insinuations between people's ethnic heritage and any of the animals featured in our show by choosing to only offer roles to white people. We're confident that this decision really meets everyone's demands and acts as a symbol for the type of society we'd like to build for the future."
When asked whether or not he thought the move might perhaps be rather extreme, he responded with,
"We're not taking any fucking chances."
And that's all from us here at News Cunt, bringing you top news for top cunts for a brighter tomorrow. We'll see you again soon.